Hi friends, good morning, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. It's my music channel. I am Rajesh Balla. So in this video, I am going to discuss about the basics of violin. Okay? Yes. As you all know, this is how a typical or a standard violin looks like. And this violin is having 4 strings in place. This is called the first string, second string, third string and fourth string, right? And if you look at here, these are the 4 pegs. The ones which are black, these are called it as a pegs, and the ones which are here below, these are called as screws. Since we have 4 strings in place, 1 2 3 4, we have 4 pegs here and we have 4 screws here. Okay, and this is called a bridge, by the way. The one which is looking in white color, this is called as a bridge. So in violin, right, so everything play a very crucial as well as very pivotal role in all these things like pegs, strings, the bridge as well as the screws, right? Yeah, and when coming to the pegs and the screws, where it will come to the picture here is, before we start the class, right, we need to ensure the violin is rightly tuned or not. At the moment, my violin tuned into, this is Pa, the first string, and this is Sa, the second string. This is also Pa, the third string, and this is the Sa, the fourth string. This is how my violin tuned from left to right. Pa Sa, Pa Sa. Okay. Now, if there are any minor corrections, if there are any small or very minute corrections are there, then we can correct it through this screws and all. We can loosen the screws, we can tighten the screws. But if there are any major correction that needs to be required for any shruti and all, then obviously we need to work with the pegs and all. Okay, and please be careful and please be mindful while you are working with the pegs. The reason being here is, we need to, the teacher might ask you, either you have to, loosen the peg or tighten the peg. Make sure you are just pulling and loosening and tightening very softly, very gently. Don't do it very hard enough. If you do hardly, either the peg will come into your hand, again it would be very difficult to fine tune the things, since the teacher may not be available. Since I'm attending the classes online, if I do any mistake, I know the pain. I'll lose my one class. Again I have to go back to the place where I purchased the violin. I have to ask that person to fix all these things. So since you are a beginner, since you get to the instrument, since you get some minimum experience or some basics out of it, please do work with all these things very gently and very carefully. Okay, yeah. So as I said, the pegs and the screws, and in order to tighten the peg or loosen the peg, before you do that, just slightly loosen the screw first. First you loosen the screw, then you tighten the peg here. Then you can easily do it. But if you tighten the screw here and if you do here, there are chances that the string might break, or there are chances that the peg also might come out. Okay, just please be very careful and mindful when you're working on this pegs as well as the screws, right? Okay, typically I think I covered pretty much about the violin, right? Now let us talk about this bow. As you all know, this is how a typical or a standard bow looks like, and here they will give you one screw here where you have to, if you do it like this, you can loosen the bow, and once you done with your class, right, just loosen this screw. You can see it has come down, the feather as well as stick, it has stick to each other, and put it in the box once you're done with the class. But when you're in the class, then you have to tighten it, which means, wait, let me you can rotate towards the right hand side, so there should be some gap should come between the thread and the stick, so it should come like this. Okay, and yeah, this is basically the features of this bow. Now as you all know, then we can play like this. Okay, before we play directly, there is another small component called a Roslin. The use of this Roslin here is, you need to apply to this bow every day before the class, like this, just like this. Okay, it's very simple. Just they'll give this is also part of this violin box. Just take out that and just apply a Roslin every day before the class, just as a regular practice. Sometimes what will happen here is, if you don't apply the Roslin on a regular basis, right, the sound may not come perfectly, or it won't looks good, it won't sound good basically. So as a best practice, make sure that you apply the rosaline to the bow every day before the class, and once you're done with the class, just loosen the screw and put it in your box. Okay, yeah. And this is how, yeah, once you're done with the violin tuning, and once you're ready with the bow, after applying the rosaline and all, then you can start applying. And by the way, I'll tell you how to hold this bow. Just hold the bow in very, in this direction, like this, so that it's easy for you to play. Okay, just have a look at it very carefully. At the edge, just hold it like this. Okay, so that you can easily play with the violin. Now let me show you. So basically this is the first string. And make sure that while you are playing in the violin, right, make sure you are playing between this gap only. I'll show you. Between this bridge and this board is there, right, the black board. Make sure you're playing between this area only. Don't play somewhere here or somewhere here. It won't look good and it won't sound perfectly, and it won't sounds good, right? So make sure you are playing the bow within this region only, and that with a parallel only. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I hope you're clear with the basics of violin, the bow and the rosaline, right? And make sure that its teacher will tell you how to tune the violin. It should be in the D scale or E scale or whatever scale it is, and then he will and we need to hold this position also very carefully. Since if you're a, we need to hold it, we need to keep the leg like this. Okay, let me show. Okay, and hold it like this, and keep your right leg here, and keep the violin and hold it very gently, and then you start applying the bow like this. Okay, and one more important thing, whenever you're playing on any string, be it a first string, second string, third string, fourth string, make sure the bow is not touching to any other strings. For example, if I am playing the pass string, the first string, I should ensure that it's not touching the second. It has to touch only the first. And when you're playing the second, it has to touch only the second. When you're playing third, it has to touch only the third. So please do ensure that it is not touching or overlapping with other strings, right? I hope you're clear with the basics of this violin, how to tune it, and what are the essential components of a violin, and what is the usage of this bow, and what is the usage of the rosaline, right? Maybe in my next video we'll discuss about the swarasthanas, how many swarasthanas we have, and what are the positions of each swarasthanas, how to play sarigama padanisa and sanidapa magarisa. We'll see all such in my upcoming videos, right? Thanks for watching to my channel, and please do subscribe to my channel to get to know all such updates on a regular basis. Thank you. I'll see you soon in my upcoming video. Take care. It's me, Rajesh, signing off.